What's the dumbest reason you've seen a rich guy lose his house? A millionaire threw me out of his house for warning him about something, and 5 days later he lost everything. My finger went straight through what should have been solid wood, and this black wet rot covered my entire hand. I actually gasped because in 12 years of roofing, I'd never felt wood this far gone. Mr. Castellano had called me Monday morning for a simple leak repair at his mansion. 20-minute job, $100. But when I got up there and pulled back his expensive slate tiles, the plywood underneath just disintegrated, like pushing through wet tissue paper. I tested another spot, then another. 6 spots total, and my hand went through every single one. The entire roof deck had rotted to nothing, and 30 tons of slate was floating on basically air. Then I looked down, and my stomach dropped. They were setting up a massive wedding tent right below me. His daughter's wedding. Saturday. 5 days away. I practically fell off the ladder, rushing down and grabbed a chunk of the rotten wood on my way. It was still wet and black on my hands as I burst into Castellano's office. He was on a conference call, but I didn't care. Your roof is going to collapse. I held up the rotted chunk like evidence at a trial. He spun his chair around, and I'll never forget how his expression changed. First confused, then annoyed, then this little smirk appeared. Let me guess. My $100 patch just became $40,000? Right before my daughter's wedding? The way he said it, like he'd caught me in something, made my face burn. This is from your roof. Feel it. I stepped closer with the wood. He actually leaned back like I was holding something diseased. I don't need to touch that. Then look at the photos. I fumbled with my phone, swiping through image after image of daylight showing through his roof. He wouldn't even glance at them. My brother-in-law inspected everything 2 months ago for the wedding. Said we're perfect. Your brother-in-law either lied or never went up there because this rot is years old. That's when he stood up, and suddenly I realized how big this guy was. Not fat, just tall and broad. The kind of build that comes from years of being the most important person in every room. So my family's lying, but the stranger who magically needs emergency money right before my daughter's wedding is telling the truth? Just get a second opinion. Call anyone else. Today. Get out. His voice went quiet, which was somehow worse than yelling. Actually, stay right there. He picked up his phone. Security to my office. We have attempted fraud. I set the rotten wood on his desk and left before security arrived, but I couldn't let it go. In my truck, I wrote everything on company letterhead while my hands were still shaking from anger. Then I drove to the fire department, showed them photos, the wood sample, everything. The captain shook his head. Without visible damage or owner permission, our hands are tied. Same response at the building department. It's definitely dangerous, the inspector said, but I can't condemn it without external signs of collapse. I tried one more time, drove back to Castellanos. The gates were locked. Through the bars, I saw Lucia and basically begged her to take my warning letter. She looked terrified, but took it. Saturday morning, I couldn't stay away. Parked down the street and walked toward the venue, planning to warn guests as they arrived. Security spotted me immediately. 2 guys in suits intercepted me before I reached the property line. Mr. Castellano said you might show up. They walked me back to my car. The father-daughter dance had just started when I heard the first crack from 3 blocks away. Even through my closed car windows, it sounded like a tree splitting. Then came another, louder. Later, I learned the DJ had killed the music as the tent ceiling started bulging downward. The north section dropped all at once. The grandmother's wheelchair tipped as a beam smashed down where she'd been sitting. The bride ended up covered in red and cake. 2 months later, the insurance investigator called. Lucia had saved my warning letter and photographed the rotten wood after Castellano threw it away. Claim denied. $2.7 million in damages. Castellano sued me for sabotage, but the judge had my fire department report, building inspector testimony, even security confirming I'd tried to warn wedding guests. Case dismissed. His brother-in-law got arrested for fake inspections. His wife divorced him. His daughter posted online thanking me for trying, all because he thought I wanted $40,000.